Hello, everybody, and welcome to the much anticipated Season 11 draft here in the Ssbl. Get things underway here soon. Joining me on the call tonight is Shag. Say hello to everyone, Shag.
How's it going, everybody? Excited to get this draft underway here tonight. Get the Season 11 SSBL season kicked off.
Alright, so we got the timer on the screen. Fine, so we'll officially open up the draft, and I will hit start on the timer. Monstars are officially on the clock. Been a lot of speculation thrown around so far since the been up. Like Rosie Reese has been talked about as the unanimous number one.
Well, talent-wise, Reese is by far and away the most talented player available in this draft. There's a lot of speculation about Houndstooth, but however, the ability to have that K collector trait for Rosie Reese makes her the only A+ in this draft class.
Right. And the pick is in.
Here we go.
With the first overall pick in the Season 11 SSBL draft, a bit of a wild card, the Monsters select Jerry Horn.
Wow.
Center fielder. We are already headed for chaos.
So Horn to the Monstars at 1 overall. So that's a great pick for the Monstars. Arguably the best bat in this draft if you're trying to build a power lineup here. With a 95 power and a 76 contact, combining with an 85 speed, Horn has the ability to be an absolute menace on the base paths. If he even needs to get on, I expect him to be a multiple home run. I don't know what our averages were last season, but I expect Horn to be probably a top 5 home run hitter in the league.
All right, with that, the moonshots now on the clock. Wide open, and they talked a lot about Fisher to the lead up toward the draft, but now Reese is there. That's just a slide right down. Righty. Pick is in with the second overall pick. Season 11 draft. The Moonshots select Rosie Reese, pitcher. Oh. Your thoughts so far?
I'd have to say that's a pretty darn good pick. You know, if the Moonshots are a team that needs some pitching, they get the best pitcher here in the draft.
Alright, so I guess that leads it into my hand. Bombers are now on the clock. Type it in my. And with the third pick of the draft, Bombers will select Abraham Fisher.
Fisher off the board. I had Fisher as my second best pitcher here in this draft. I think that's a pretty solid pick right there. Definitely ace material.
And that brings the moonshots back onto the clock. We're at not take much time at all. The pick is in. The fourth pick, the shots take Matthias Houndstooth.
A lot of speculation where Houndstooth would go so far in this draft cycle. Houndstooth was widely regarded as the best available batting prospect. Butterfingers is something that some people have had concerns about. Some others are not as concerned about it. However, the Sims seem to show that Houndstooth was universally one of the best bats available.
Right, and that back in hot seat. No, it is quite spectacular how different the actual draft has shaken out compared to how we thought it was just 3 or 4 days ago. Compared to that master that first round prediction mock draft you had.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, board's been completely flipped upside down since then. Many trades to completely shake up that top 5, top 10 has really thrown an absolute monkey wrench in this draft.
All right. Then I'll be done for the night.
Have you sold out? Yeah, you've sold out of everything else.
Yep. My roster is best not to try and play gymnastics. All right.
So Reese and Houndstooth to the moonshots. That's quite a haul right there.
With the fifth pick of the draft, the Bombers are going to take Chill Radical.
Chili Radical, one of the best available shortstops, infielders in this draft. However, Radical is not just an infielder. With the outfielder, secondary, and a utility, Chili Radical can play any defensive position of imperative need.
They will, with that utility trait, they outfield.
Absolutely, especially when you consider having a 90 overall arm. Radical is an absolute weapon in the outfield. Teams are going to shy away from running on Radical a ton.
Right. Sorry to announce this next pick for you, because I know
Jared.
this is going to hurt. But with the sixth pick of the draft, the Astros select J.R. Prince.
All right. Let's see what
Switch
we got
hitting
available.
right.
Didn't trade up one pick enough.
and that put the Mythic on the clock. It's off the board. So a bit of a surprise, a bit on my part, honestly, because Astros did send in a bit of a message for like a draft board. It did say best pitcher available. Then with how it shook out, they select J.R. Prince. Is a huge switch hitting bat. I mean, 82-1.
Is the reason I was so heavily after him.
Defense is a bit of a concern. Just I guess you shove him in left feet. Oh, you sick him in. Doesn't matter. Slayer as well as at Astro. Trade. They are second here right now. Power 50 contact. Oh, okay. Honestly, being 6 picks into this draft, I am stunned that it's only off the board. I thought, and it could be, you know, a run coming up here, but very surprised that it's been position heavy and not pitcher at the top of the board.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna submit this pick.
Okay.
Let's see here. Oh, fuck, now I'm second guessing. How much time do I have?
The time.
Okay. We'll go with. Don't want to hold this draft up. I'm gonna go. I'll submit it in my team chat.
All right.
Pick here.
Pick in the 7th of the draft. The select Ding Hale, second baseman. Not who you originally hoped for, but still a pretty solid bat. 93-60 for a lefty. Sprinter trait.
Was going to be my target for the 12th overall pick. However, I've had to reconsider.
Okay. At sent in for best batter with best arm available. Best batter. Best. Oh.
Sergio Lewis?
Now that was have cannon arm as a I think that
Sergio.
far and away is probably quote unquote best arm. Alright. We'll do that. Sergio Lewis. Spelled that. Alright, that brings the Monstars back to the table. things considered, we are making a pretty good pace. 20 minutes into the not counting, including the time we spent on the screen. Be close to 10 picks in here. See what people have thought. I lost track of the Twitch stream chat. Quite surprised with Horn being the #1 overall pick. Washi saying that was out of left field. In position. It is Shag who is with me. Alright, pick is in for the Monstars. Third pitcher off the board, it will be Jared Goot.
Good pitcher there. It depends on what you're looking for trait-wise, but Guzman's amazing when it comes to being a scholarly pitcher. I'm not positive unless there's anybody I'm missing. Guzman is the best junk pitcher in this draft.
Yeah, I bet you're right. 97 is hard pressed to beat. Better than that. The Jesse Fitt at 94. Got Piston at 92. He is definitely at the top of the board in regards to that category. Here we go with pick 10. For the Epic Conference, the High Rollers are on the board. I see that he is typing away in the channel. And the pick is in. Tyke Gutierrez, falling all the way down here to the High Rollers at pick 10 overall.
It's a great pick right there. Elite 4-seam. Going to take care of business there pretty solidly.
It's honestly going to be the pitcher I took, thinking that it was going to be Reese, then Fisher, left to me at 3, but Barry Horn going first overall. Tyke falls all the way to 10th. That's a get for the High Rollers. Not that they really needed the pitching. They're already the 4th best pitching by stats in the league on the sheet right now, but it does give them someone to replace Drake Walters, just a 159 overall. All right, that takes us to the Diamond Jacks. Have a draft board from them. Kind of guide them. Best available pitcher, and it looks like that will be Agnes Ariel. How you would say it?
Villarreal. That's a great pick right there.
You'll need to Diamond.
Yep, definitely will need to add a pitcher too. Coming in as a closer and generated, but 99 overall velocity. I'm gonna say it. It doesn't get better than that.
Pitcher. All right, and the Mythic are back on the clock here with pick number 12. They acquired the other day from the Sonics.
So this
easier of a decision for you.
Oh, it works out not perfectly how I wanted, but I'm gonna submit this here. Might be a little bit lower on some people's boards. But it takes care of what I need.
Right. With the 12th pick of the draft, Mythic will take Emerson Ahmed. Give my ignorance. Got a okay. Right outside pitch.
His basic knock is that he's only a 42 fielder, but I'm willing to deal with that in the outfield. Might use one of my camps to bump his contact up a little bit, and it isn't perfectly a replication of JR Prince, but it gets me somewhere in the ballpark.
All right, we are quickly already into the back half of the first round here. Area 51 and Large Marge with the pick here. Marge is typing. Right, and pick is in the 13th pick in Season 11 draft, Area 51. Select Becky Hernandez.
Becky Hernandez here. Pitcher.
Off the board, we're about equal now at 3-1 and 4 out of the last 5.
Interesting pick there. Obviously the highest overall rated pitcher on the board. However, no traits and pretty weak velocity, only throwing a 46 in that stat. However, 94 accuracy will play exceptionally here.
And that
in the
89
Sims.
junk as well really complements.
Correct.
Just give him a lot of the moving pitch. A forkball on her, I feel like, would be. They got a curveball, slider. That's. All right, and we jumped Wax, and the pick is in. Be another pitcher. It's going to be Teal Pacheco.
Great pick there. I had him going late first round. Potential jump. However, I think this is a player you're willing to take a jump on. It's the best overall pitcher with a trait. K Collector is going to be an absolute menace to play around with. And the lefty is
scholarly chemistry Wax and a K Collector trait. That was the next best pitcher available that did have a trait. There's a gap, like you were saying, of pitch towards the top that are really good overall, but not have any traits. It's kind of barren at the top of the board. There's 3 of, let's see, the top, like, so had a trait. Only, including, if you include Teal Pacheco, only 4 of the top 12 pitchers had a trait on the board. Alright, but that then takes us to the Cyclones. Him. Clock here. Happen. Donut Boy very happy that he got Tyke Gutierrez. His 3rd overall pick on his board. On this great value. Comes to it, Shag.
Yes, sir.
Take a look at the Cyclone roster. Maybe the needs are, and then decide to get fair pick.
Fair enough. Let me also take a look at my mock. I think I wrote down what they need.
Right.
Mock drafts. Cyclones. Their need. Cyclones get a little outfield depth for flexibility. Lewis moves them to tier 2, crafty, boost majority of their traits. So I said Sergio Lewis to them. However, Lewis is off the board. That's outfield flexibility is I think what I was saying.
Flexibility.
I would say Gwendolyn Davidson.
That would be right field, outfield. I was with you on there.
As is Hummus, Gwendolyn fits the bill. So Gwendolyn Davidson.
Oh, typins.
Oh, never mind. Pull it out.
Oh, and we were correct anyway. It will be Gwendolyn Davidson for the Cyclones at pick 15. All right, Davidson is now Cyclone. That's a very interesting pick because contact versus lefties and stimulated. I don't remember players last year with stimulated trick. I feel like there was there was like I remember a couple of times. I think that's a pretty rare trait. That'll be interesting. That works out. For
it
the
sure is a hell of a trait.
16 block, I get some work. Let's just take a peek. Pretty sure the Knights needs out the back half of that bolt fast. Knights are going to select they will take Pax Church. Off the board. Are cruising right along. It is now up to Treevers. Treevers on the clock here. So a first round, about 2/3 of the way through. Jag, what do you think so far of some of the moves that have been made? What stands out to you?
I think a majority of the top 7 I had pretty accurate. Houndstooth and Reese going to the moonshots, both of them, they get the best pitcher and the best hitter in the draft at 2 and 4. I think the moonshots are going to be in it to win it this year for sure. That'll be quite a team. I think Gutierrez going to the High Rollers is a perfect fit. They needed some pitching as well as the Diamond Jacks. So them getting those 2 arms, absolutely huge for them. And yeah, I'm curious to see how Pax Church does for the Knights this year. The Knights had the best record in the league last year going into playoffs before they flamed out in the first round. So I think that is an area that they can definitely improve.
The retreat. Guess what? It is another pitcher going off the board. Jesse Frigate.
Jesse Frigate, 97 miles or 97 velo, 72 accuracy, absolute fireball thrower, left hand from the left side, 51 junk, so it's not unserviceable. Crafty trait as well, 4 pitches. That's a very solid pitcher. Definitely front of the rotation material.
It's Crafty was Pax Church, Spirited.
Excuse me, crap. I see that, and I had him backwards too. Pax Church was the flamethrower. Frigate has immensely good junk and
That was
very
the
solid.
second highest jump draft.
Right.
Got 4 pitches already. That could be Carter, a lefty there. All right, we go now to the Skulls of Rock. Traffic. Ball back. Income. Draft time. I think we've been time anyway.
Ah. 1, 2.
All right, we have a pick. Have construction. So for the Skulls, best overall pitcher, positive trait, and above 60 accuracy.
Overall trait.
Like that would
Marcus.
be.
Yep. I would agree with that. 68 accuracy, elite 4-seam fastball. Tacked on to before. If you throw a camp at Harrington, get him a little bit of help in that regard. I think
Oh, that is Skulls. Pitcher run came a bit later than I expecting, but it's been 5, 6, 7, 8 of the last 10 on the board have been pitchers. And that makes sense. The pitching was definitely. I mean, if you were a bad pitching team, you're pretty bad last year. That compile sheet.
Yep.
Pretty significant spread from best pitching staff to the staff, just considering the regular season. The worst pitching staff was 4.98 ERA. Longfield.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the best, it looks like the best was actually the Retrievers last year at a 3.5 ERA, so almost 1.5 run difference, top and the bottom.
That's a lot of wins and losses right there.
All right, and the pick is in for the Unicorns. We get another position player off the board. It will be Quincy Schaefer. Shortstop going to the Unicorns.
Absolute steal there for the Unicorns. However, they do need a catcher. We'll see where they go later in this draft in that regard. However, Schaefer, withstood quite a fall. I have it probably as my, based off stats, my 4th best overall player on the board, behind Houndstooth, Horn, and Radical. Just in terms of base overall, however, the traits definitely held Schaefer.
No traits, but a lefty bat, 63-90. Fantastic there, 72 speed, really good defense. Play just about anywhere you want to put him in the infield, and mention infield secondary. So they are just a Army knife.
Absolutely, slots in very well across the board.
go to pick number 20. Walkers are now on the clock. Do have a guideline, but I'll just run. Pick in if they. You know, compared to our shuffle draft, we're sitting a land speed pace.
Absolutely flying.
So, you know, you mentioned Schaefer being biggest faller so far. Unless you're kind of guys who took a bit of a fall far here in the first round, or maybe someone could bleed
Gutierrez and
second round, maybe.
Gutierrez and Guzman were my two biggest fallers outside of Schaefer. The rest pretty much seems to fall. I mean, Reese and Houndstooth not going 1-2 was probably, I guess Houndstooth falling to 4 was a bit of a surprise. Yeah. Outside of that, I mean, Gutierrez, Guzman, and Schaefer are my 3 biggest steals so far.
Timer's about to. Here. Washi said for the Walkers, best available pitcher prioritizing that is Ghost McGregor. Sitting there.
Oh, competitive.
Oh, sorry, competitive CMP.
I was like, composed. I'm like, we're going all the way down to Arthur Freeman, a B- pitcher with the composed trait, or Happy Curtis. I was like, that's a.
No, sorry, I is chemistry, not the. Sorry, CMP. Ghost McGregor will be the pick.
It's a good pick there. Best pitcher available on the board, no trait, but is a very sufficient pitcher.
Back to the pitchers, and we're to the Lumberjacks, making one of their rare first round picks here. They trade back in drafts or trade out of draft. Bit of an update on strategy for no hummus.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with the Lumberjacks' method of old was to trade picks for established talent. However, established talent is not worth much anymore as it was previously because of the fact we're not progressing players anymore. It's all regression. So a little bit of a different aging situation has the Lumberjacks reconsidering their methodology.
You know what? I'm surprised there hasn't been any in-draft trades yet. Thought we'd have at least a couple so. Pick in for the Lumberjacks. They are going batter. They are going with Bill Gordon, center fielder.
Speed. That's what you're getting with this pitch here. Speed, speed, speed. 92 overall speed. However, the one downside to hurt that speed is they're a base jogger, which is unfortunate.
All right, and that takes us to pick number 22 is the Stingers on the clock. All right, and the pick is instantly in. Very excited about this one. First pick for the new manager, Jack Vlad. Had some of the new blood already make their picks to the manager for the earlier. Storm and the Express coming up. Dragons trading out of the first a bit later. Pick is in, and it will be Bingo Meha, shortstop.
Let's see here. Bingo Mejia. Shortstop, no secondary, so a secondary trait will be used there. Butterfinger is, am I correct on this one? Yeah, Big Hack Butterfingers. So power is going to be there a lot with Bingo Mejia. 46 contact with Big Hack, that's going to drain pretty slim. So you're going to see a handful of at-bats where Mejia is going to be swinging probably upper 90s for power, but they're going to be potentially 30s for contact. Not too much of a concern in terms of if you're willing to invest some camp points into Mejia's contact, that can be a pretty solid pickup there.
Stingers, they are tier 2 in discipline, so that does mitigate the Butterfinger. That is a
for sure.
All right, we'll go to the penultimate first round pick. It was the Storm. They sent a they taken was a no matter what here. They're obviously gone. Oh, but their number 4 player is still on the board. Piston Lee going to the Storm.
I believe Lee had a very tumultuous streams. At times, Lee had promise of being a frontline ace in many rotations, and at times I think Lee got hit pretty well.
All right. We'll go to pick 24, the last year of the first round. Go to Express. Best offense last year, regular season. Tops in the league batting average at 91. Are tied for second in at 50. Lumberjacks. Actually, the Diamond Jacks that hit 5 during the tops in total bases. Actually stole quite a few bases, 20 season. Slugging percentage for 81 and struck out the least amount in the league. Second least. They only struck out 19.8% of the time, just falling behind Area 50 at 19. Did say so to be on, so I will go ahead and get something back in. Might be back into
the. Who are we taking? We're taking Express. Okay, let's see what we got here for a need. I think I had them mocked as taking a pitcher here as well. Let's take a look at the roster. So, worst is a disciplined, what is third tier? Get rid of one and take a look here. Do they like competitive? They don't hate competitive. Are they just looking for best overall pitcher?
They
What is?
didn't say anything. They said they would be guidelines.
Okay.
Are
Yep, I'd go. Yep, best available pitcher, Alora Montez. I would say would be the correct. I'd say go highest average. Yeah, that would be Montez. 71 overall, a 213 pitcher is going to be your highest available.
out to out channel. Express we or Montez.
The whole row remaining UGA. Six holes.
All right, and we are done with the first round. That in about 40 minutes. Had jump. Round 2. Set the timer, and the team picking for the first time tonight, it will be the Serpents. Pick is already in. B. Adriana Shields.
Adriana Shields, B+, 2-pitch pitcher with a K collector, so that'll play up very nicely. 87 velocity, 50 junk, 63 accuracy. Shields is a very solid pitcher, especially here.
Yeah, that was definitely a pitcher I thought maybe that would be a really good second round. She kept on falling. I thought I might try and sneak back into the Serpents. Take her first pick of the second round. Think that's a pick. That K collector, I think, is a really strong trait. On to the second pick here, second round. The Moonshots are back on the board.
Been an absolute run on pitching since 9.
Oh yeah, it's been pitching. So in what has now been 17 12 have been pitchers. I honestly expect. My gut says this will probably be a pitcher. Top of the second round, they need to warp their back half of their. That was a problem for them last year. Had some bad arms at. It was exactly who I thought it was. I picked them up at them. I was correct. It is Hard Court Bowls. First Moonshot.
Discipline here with a 65 overall accuracy, so that's going to be your best top 5 or so pitchers in terms of accuracy. 77 junk, 59 velocity, so a competent pitcher for sure.
All right. We jump right back to the Serpents. They will do. Honestly, Serpents were probably one of the teams that underperformed last season. A lot of people thought, with getting Havoc over, just really be a key to success, and just didn't have a great season. That volatile trait, honestly, I think being more of a detriment than it was a Bennett.
Absolutely. A lot of people thought that it would be a compounding trait where they'd have a good pitching outing, that would be quickly move to locked in mojo, and then that could quickly lead to some really good plate appearances. And then it would just continue to snowball upwards. However, I think for him, it probably snowballed downwards. You know, just as much as that can go up, it can go down pretty quick as well.
Righty. Got a in for Serpents. The Taylor Jefferson fielder.
Jefferson, center fielder, B+ player here. Left-handed swinging with tough out trait. That'll play up nicely. A little bit scary contact there, only coming in at 45.
Yeah.
Speed looks good though, 91.
Kind of go back to that true OG Serpents MO with high speed. That was how the Serpents did back in the day. They're trying to get back to that.
Absolutely. Very solid center fielder defensively. 91 speed will cover much of center field. 57 fielding rating is going to be serviceable for sure. And then 75 arm will get the job done there.
Oh. People aren't
Right,
hearing
right.
me that very well, apparently. Most of my stuff is getting cut off. Huh. I'm still trying to figure out this new headset, unfortunately. Alright. That takes us to the Dragons now. Dragons are on the clock.
I believe Dragons need was pitching as well. Wouldn't be shocked to see them go pitcher here.
Alright, and they will go pitching. If the next pick, the Dragons select Tanner Mulberry.
Competitive with an elite curveball. Combining that with 84 overall junk, that's going to be a great pitch for them. 2-pitch pitcher, so they'll need to have some pitch investment there. Big scary with that meltdown.
Yeah,
there.
meltdown is a bit of concern. Let's see what their current. Sorry about that. Right now the Dragons are Tier 4 spirited, or I'm sorry, they have 4 spirited players, Tier 2, so that does help mitigate meltdown a little bit, but you know that could be something they try and remove if they're happy with their positions elsewhere.
What does that mean?
All right, and next pick is in for the wrong fielders. Looking for the traits here. It is going to be Christine Browning.
Solid pick there. Browning was on my short list as well. 99 overall accuracy, best in the draft. Combine that with an elite 4-seam, that'll play up that velocity as needed. 37 junk, could use a little bit of investment there in terms of trait camps or camps and points. Browning should be a good pitcher for them though.
Enter pick number 30, and it's the Astros who are back on the clock.
Well, after they took J.R. Prince.
Yeah, I feel like a pitcher is.
Yeah.
Are some pitchers still available here? And the pick is in, and it is pitcher. They're going Alani Push-Ups.
Great pick there, an absolute steal at this juncture. I believe that is the last remaining A player. Not quite, but the last remaining A pitcher.
Is there a column that I'm not seeing the grade in?
Nope, I did it myself.
Oh, it's your grades, not the game's grades.
Well, it is the game's grades,
Oh,
but I
okay,
took them
gotcha.
from screenshots, and then I also, when I didn't have them, I sat down and inputted each individual player into the game to see what they would grade him at.
All right, we are moving right along. It's the Lumberjacks back on the clock here with the 7th pick in the second round. Went with Adele Gordon last time, a center fielder. Lumberjacks did finish below 500 on the regular season, but did make it to the conference finals. Fell short to the Express in 5 games. Lumberjacks were pretty good offensively. As I mentioned before, tied for the Express in second with home runs during the regular season at 50. Batting average, though, was a little bit towards the middle of the league, 273. Did strike out at a 23% clip. Pitching-wise, though, it was a different story. Also towards the middle of the pack, ERA-wise, a 4.39 ERA for them. Were good in strikeouts. They did have some of the best guys, Shane's Pepperonis, Palacios, Brandon Palacios, I think. So they got the strikeouts, but they just need to stop allowing runs. Right, and the pick is in, and they are going pitching. It is going to be Tate Martinez.
Great pitcher there, Tate Martinez, best overall available. 94 on the velocity, going to play very well in this league. 52 on the junk, serviceable, and 59 accuracy. Not overwhelming, but it is definitely something that will be serviceable.
I think this is the last team to have their first pick of the draft. It is the Sonics. Pick is right in, and just out of curiosity, Shaq, who did you have them projected to in that first?
If this goes the way I think it does, this would be a great move by the Sonics. I had them projected taking the best overall third baseman, Dom Hazeldine. However, I did know that was absolutely a reach. This would be a wonderful place to take Hazeldine.
Well, they did indeed pick Dom Hazeldine here in the 8th pick of the second round.
That's exactly what they need. That's a great pick for that spot. Absolutely maximized some value there.
Yeah, got some value. So they traded back with you, actually. You gave them a first and a third in 12, along with picks 32 and 56 for you to get 12, 36, and 60. So a first next season, that is a really good swap for them, and still getting the same player they were projected to, about 15 picks earlier.
Correct. I did have that as a notorious reach, and I definitely thought that Hazeldine should be a second-round grade. However, the need for the Sonics was imperative at third base, and that's a great pick for them.
Okay. Pick is in for the Serpents, but I don't know who this is. I'll find him. Oh, wow. Okay. There it is. And it's going to be the first catcher off the board. It is Castiel English.
Good pick there. English, solid bat there. Good arm, not the fastest. Not my first catcher I would have ranked. However, I think speed is something that
has the solid arm, a consistent trait. That's pretty good to have on your catcher, I think. And a switch hitter too, so that that does factor into things, I think, especially in this league. Switch hitting has kind of been a thing forever. All right, and we jump over to the Dragons.
Dragons went pitcher earlier, I believe. I wouldn't be shocked if they try to get a position player here.
Okay. Still online, but he does have guidelines in for what he wants here at his second pick. Okay, I see who E.
What were those guidelines, if you don't mind spilling them?
The guidelines for the second pick for the Dragons would be the best available first baseman, which would be Seth Peck.
Take a look here, Seth Peck. Indeed, it would be. I'm actually going to fight you on that one. I have Peck and Clipperstein tied in terms of total, and I think a trait for Klippenstein would put them over the top. Hoping this is what I was doing.
And they are exactly the same trait. They are exactly the same overall wise at 238. Klippenstein does have distractor, but fielding is pretty rough. Let's see. Any more fun chats in the Twitch channel? Oh, the Liberty still hasn't picked, sorry.
So did we make a decision on that one? Best overall pitcher, or best overall first baseman for the Dragons? Let's see.
I still have
I'd
a
love
few
to
more
hear everybody else's
seconds.
thoughts. I mean, I think people
So
are pretty considerate in terms of this kind of stuff.
Pandora says 18 fielding on your first baseman, though. Clip is basically a DH, he says.
Not false.
But then Hummus says Clip would get the tiebreaker, I think, in saying that as a trait. Jax, the lad, says 18 fielding at first base feels bad. No. Welp, no way I'd take Clip to play first base.
Well, that's the whole thing. Is it's not so much a numbers thing right now, I guess, because that's what it seems like people are arguing. Is if they determine Clip is a DH, then it defeats what he's trying to do. I mean, it's tough because now we're having the argument: is Clip a DH or can he play first base? And then, well, do we ignore the fact that he'd be a DH instead of a first baseman and let them take Peck, who could play first base, because they requested first base?
I think I'm going to call it as Seth Peck. They are the best, well-rounded overall player. Whereas they said first base, so lean towards someone who could actually play first base, and I think that attributes more to fielding 54 better than 18. I think I'm going to go Seth Peck for.
Okay. Seth Peck it is.
Okay. And we advanced back to the Diamond Jacks.
The Diamond Jacks, what do they need here? I mean, they took pitching round one, so I would assume they maybe go in another way unless their pitching is that bad.
No, their pitching is that bad. Like, I'm pretty sure they have like a 100 overall on there. Yeah, they have 107. Like, that's
40.
absurd.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So they're still going to go pitching, confirmed by Kawashi to keep on going pitching. And I think I just go best overall with Crispy Thunderer here. 204 overall.
Unless they say, did Kawachi say anything in terms of that? Did they just say
No,
best
they
overall?
didn't. And you know, with us running these extra teams just to fill up the league, I think just calling it best player available, Crispy Thunderer, and we keep on going.
No, I was gonna go Thunder. Fair enough. We'll go Thunderer then. Best overall. Gonna go Thunderer there, but it's not in good faith.
All right. And that puts the Mythic on the board.
Pick. Wow. What do I need? I mean, I need pitching, but there's not good pitching left. I need to go pitching.
No, it's kind of hard to. It's hard to keep track of what I've done here and making sure my team's perfectly set. And thinking about, well, do I want to sneak back in?
I know, right? I feel that.
Okay. Fisher.
Oh.
Spirit. So still.
I'm gonna, if you give me I'm gonna see if there are any feelers out for a trade real quick.
Okay. Uh,
See here. Alright, let me see. There's a trade in the works.
okay. You've done so well on time, I'm not too worried about it.
Do this.
Season 20 is the offer from Pandora.
Season 20. Appreciate it, Pandora. Maniac, what are you? Area 51?
Maniac is Quacks.
Oh, Maniac is Quacks. I think I'm going to go another direction, Maniac. I appreciate it. I still want to make picks, but I don't love what I see on the board right now. So I'm going to submit this pick. Or submit this trade that I just made.
Okay. So our first draft night trade, very surprising. It comes here About midpoint, or actually exact midpoint of the second round. Ooh, and it's the unicorns potentially coming in here. Another selection.
Cool. I'm gonna go ahead. Yep. As soon as you give that.
Okay, confirmation is in. So it's now the unicorns on the clock. The Mythic are getting pick 19 and pick 19 in the second round and pick
19 of the third.
pick 19 of the third round. All right. Very nice.
That goes on to the unicorn.
All right, and the pick is in for the unicorns, and it will be another catcher off the board. Is going to be Martha Conrad.
That's a good pick there. That was my highest rated catcher.
There it is.
Conrad was my highest rated catcher.
54, 91, 7, 56, 92.
Speed is an absolute killer there.
Yeah, but it's a catcher, like, I don't think that's...
Exactly.
I mean, that's a place where you can be slow.
Yep, for sure.
All right, and that takes us to the Dragons again. They are now showing up offline, so give them clock one more time. You have some guidelines here. Let's see. Okay, so we will need to kind of think about this one. So if they don't come back on, the Dragons have asked for the best available third baseman.
I think I have somebody in mind.
Primary third base falls quite a bit down, so do consider secondary third base as well in this situation. Here, I'll be right back. I need to.
Let's see here. Yes, Hummus, that was a mock pick for the Unicorns. I had them reaching for a catcher because they needed one desperately. 2 equals 48 plus 19, 66.
Okay, I am back.
Very nice. Okay.
So
they said they needed a what again? Second base?
yeah,
Or third
best
base?
overall third base. So if we consider secondaries, that is Bolt
Bree.
Bree. And I think that's a pretty
Otherwise,
clear Mitch Rillo
That's a
considered
Mitch Rillo's a
primary,
DH.
but that's a bit of a drop.
Yeah.
And we
Mitch
go back to
Rillo
the
DH.
defense discussion. So if they don't pop up here, I think Bolt Bree will be pick for the Dragons.
Yep. I think.
Okay.
Or Crane. I'm
time-
seeing that too. Crane's a good. Crane's not an awful pick. What about Brock? Brock's not got good D.
See.
Chloe Tucker.
Not
I
fire.
think tough to say.
I think it's going to be Bolt Bree.
Yeah, and then they can. Yeah. Otherwise, it's Mitch Rilo.
Technically a first baseman, but they do have third base secondary.
Yeah, I think Bree's a fair pick.
We will jump over now to the Quacks. They are now on the clock.
Have I missed something here? Are they still on the board?
Who?
In fact, there are a couple A-rated players still on the board. I will say that right now. Most of them are first basemen. There are 3 on the board. I don't think I want to spill who. Maybe just for value's sake, I might as well at this point.
I wrote down
I'm
a
not
couple.
saying anything, and I'm not telling people who to pick. I'm just saying there are players on the board available, and I was shocked that they haven't been picked yet.
All right, I think this may be one of those players. It is going to be Nico Klippenstein for the Quacks.
Indeed, Klippenstein. No, actually not. Klippenstein is a B+. However, that bat grades out. That bat is A worthy.
See, Klippenstein, 1 base.
It's just the defense that absolutely.
Yeah, so a DH there for.
Yep.
Klippenstein. Well, I try to highlight Klippenstein red, but it's showing up gray for some reason. Anyway, we move right along, and we're back to the Cyclones. On the. I think we're some dark horse. Okay, Doctor is typing. All right, the pick is in. And for the Cyclones, it is going to be Brinkley Trickster, center fielder, first base, outfield.
That's the pick right there.
That is a really solid pick. Lefty bat, 78, 68, 86 with base rounder. That's a nice little bat to pick up there.
It's an amazing one. That is the last remaining A- or better rated player on the board that is not a first baseman.
So a nice piece in center field there for the Cyclones. The fielding arm does leave a bit to be desired, but maybe they could tuck them into left or right field or something. But that offense is really good to have. Oh, and the Knights are back on the clock. I got to figure out what to do here. I think it's just going to be an easy pick here for the Knights. It's going to be Poonsley Pagnon.
What a name. It's a good pitcher. I contemplated taking Poonsley with that 12th overall pick. However, just the chemistry didn't align with exactly what I was looking for.
Right, right. All right, and we go to the retrievers, and I think I already know what this pick is going to be. They are going to be, if I remember the player right. Yep, I do. Okay, they're still there, so I think this is a instant submit for the retrievers. He said it was the only player that he really wanted in this whole draft. Indeed it is. It is Screw Brazen. Or Brazone.
Left fielder, outfielder, a B+ rating. Great little bat there. That is actually a pretty good pickup. I'm seeing this now. Right-handed, not the best, but a spirited rally starter. That's going to be an awesome little leadoff hitter. Distractor as well. Yeah. Good on base work with the 71 speed will be worthy of it. And dead middle average outfielder, but you can tuck him in left field. That's a pretty safe spot in terms of a defensive outfielder. That's an awesome pick. Great name too.
And we go to the Monstars. Back on the clock after picking twice within the first 10 picks. I was informed earlier that there was something in play that was just going to clear them out of the rest of the draft, but I guess that fell through. Still have a few picks here at the end, so there he is. Pick is in, and it's going to be Moses Carroll, left fielder. RBI hero, nice bat as well.
Let's see here, Moses Carroll.
All right, and that takes us back to you, sir. The Mythic are on the clock. And Donut Boy is not happy. You all are taking all of his picks.
We got Moses Carroll just got taken, the left fielder. Let's see here. Ooh. Oh, you're making me think. You're making me think about it. Mosley's gone. I don't hate that pick though. I just hate that ball. Let's see. B. Oh, I like that being a switch hitter too. I'm gonna fucking do it. I don't care if it's overload. Also, great name.
Okay, sounds like the Mythic have someone in mind here.